Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the first Emerging Leaders Roundtable of the year. We're just going to give folks a couple more minutes to sign on and get into the Zoom, and then we will get going. Couple more minutes here, give people a chance to get in, and then we will kick it off.
Hey, Lucy.
Hi.
One more minute here. Paget, that's a good thing to give a lot of people energy. Excel working hard. Yeah.
82,000 people lost power at some point yesterday in Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota. It's crazy.
Yep. I was just telling Katie and Zach, we were one of those, our telephone pole failed at, or not our telephone pole, our electrical pole failed at the base last night, and the wires were sparking all over. So we were thankful XL could get out and take care of that. And that was even before the storm. So.
Wow.
All right. Well, let's jump into it as more people continue to sign on. Thanks again, everyone, for joining this morning. It's our first roundtable of the season. This is going to be around designing your life. So please introduce yourself in the chat and throw in there something that is giving you energy this week. So I'd love to see that from everybody. Everybody will be muted as we enter here to give Katie a chance to speak uninterrupted. Please feel free to keep your video on, so Katie and the rest of us can see your lovely faces this morning. There will be time at the end of the meeting to engage in questions. Please submit any questions you have via the chat, and our co-chair Desiree will take the lead on administering those and asking Katie at the end of the presentation. The webinar is being recorded. You'll receive a link to the recording in the post-event email. We do want to thank our sponsors, without who we wouldn't be able to provide these roundtables. So XL Energy, Paget, thank you very much. Premier sponsor, Wells Fargo, and then supporting sponsor, McGough, and our media sponsor, Minneapolis-St. Paul Business Journal. So thank you to all those folks. During the event today, please engage on social media, and after the event, follow us at MPLS Chamber, and then hashtag MPLS Emerging Leaders. Appreciate that. Before we start, and while we have everyone on, want to make sure you know about, we have another roundtable discussion next month, which is going to be around what's on my ballot. So it's going to be all about what's going to be on the ballot upcoming in November. How does it affect the community and those living in the community? So really interesting topic there. Mark your calendars and look for the email with the invite coming soon. And without further ado, I would like to introduce our speaker. Katie Selby is founder of Quarter Life Coach, where she offers life design coaching to early career professionals. She takes a design thinking approach to coaching, helping clients define current reality and use an iterative process to prototype future possibilities. Katie has been coaching emerging leaders through career and life transition for more than 20 years in her roles as career coach, college recruiter, leadership educator as well. She's a certified Designing Your Life coach and holds a master's in education and human resource development from the University of Minnesota. Katie, thank you so much for being with us.
Hello, good morning. Thank you, everyone. I am going to pop open my screen share. Thanks for passing it over. I see some familiar names in the crowd, not everybody's faces, but thank you for joining us today. As Andrew said, I am a career coach and life designer. I work with early career professionals, and this framework that I'm going to share with you today has really been transformative for my own life and for lives of a lot of people that I've worked with. So I'm excited to introduce you to this concept of life design. So we're going to jump right into it because our time is short today. You may know of the design thinking process as something that is used in product design or in engineering to develop new products and services for the world. This method has been particularly useful for addressing wickedly difficult problems with no clear-cut solutions, things like climate change and space exploration in the last 50 years. And really the model focuses on observing and empathizing with users, like really understanding how users use our products and services, observe them, see where the gaps are, see where their needs are, their frustrations. And then, as Andrew said, go through those small iterative processes to ideate, get all the wild ideas out about how we could possibly solve these problems, and then prototype small little things we could try to see how we could improve those products or services. And then, of course, in the end, we test our solutions with the users. The concept of using this framework for our own lives comes from two Stanford professors. Dave Evans and Bill Burnett are professors at the Stanford D School, and they were teaching design thinking there at Stanford. And they found that students were coming to their office hours not with technical questions or questions about class, but more often students would come with big life questions like, should I go to grad school, or should I take this offer, or should I, move across the globe for this opportunity? And they wondered if they could use the framework of design thinking to sort of solve the big, hairy problem of what should I do with my life and my career? So the class at Stanford called Designing Your Life was born in the early 2000s. It still remains one of the most popular elective courses for grad and undergraduate students at Stanford. And Bill Burnett and Dave Evans released the book Designing Your Life in 2016 to share the concepts with the rest of us. I am honored to have trained twice at the Stanford D Lab with those authors to be a Designing Your Life coach. And like I said, this framework has been transformational for me as well. So the hallmark mindsets of design thinking really are, how can we reframe problems, always have a bias toward action, and those quick iterative processes always aimed at learning. So when we prototype things, how can we try making small changes in our lives, always aimed at learning? So today we're going to focus on the first two steps. We're going to have time for the first two steps to really take a look at, empathize with the user, just observe what's going on, and also define a couple problems that we could try to fix and prototype in our own lives. So for today's exercise, we're going to think about your life as the product. Some people use this to approach their career as the product. How have I designed my career? How have I designed my life? And yourself as the user. Like, frankly, how's it going? How is this life that you designed or this career that you've designed going? I think it's a perfect time to take a look at this topic. I think we're all thinking about what our lives want to be like or what they might look like as we come out of a pandemic. And frankly, our user needs have never been more disrupted than they were during the pandemic. So what we need from work, what we need from our relationships, transportation, entertainment, etc., it has all changed. So I think about this work today as, what do you need to sort of have your best energy and be your best self to serve your communities? And today might be a little gift of time to reflect on that and take a look at what you need. So we're going to jump right in. I'll ask you to have a piece of paper and a pen handy, and we're going to ask you to participate, stop checking your emails, and get into it. We're going to talk with some partners in just a minute. So the first thing we're going to do is just simply make a list of like 10 things that regularly take up your time in any given week. This is an example from my friend Sarah, who made a list of the things that take her time, and plot them on this sort of like map or timeline, drawing sort of which activities regularly give you energy above the line and which activities regularly drain your energy below the line. This slide doesn't depict this well, but of course, some activities could both give you energy and drain your energy depending on circumstances, who you're with, what time of day, etc. But we're going to take about 4 minutes to spend time, again, list 10 things that you regularly do each week, and just make a note of which things give you energy regularly and which things drain your energy regularly. And if you have any questions about that, please pop them in the chat. I'll be happy to take those on. We'll take about 30 more seconds to just note how your energy looks this week. The first time I did this activity, I realized that I was spending about 90 minutes every evening with my children's bedtime ritual. I don't know if any of you have children, but it's fun and playful and it takes a lot of time. And at the end of a long workday, I realized like, I need to try some things to change this process because it took all the remaining life out of me at the end of every day. So we're going to move on to the next phase and just take a look at what are the trends and things that regularly give you energy or drain your energy? I like to use this little AEIOU prompts to consider what those trends might be. So when I work with people in career coaching, we talk about what is the work that you actually like doing? What are you great at? What are the actual things that you're doing every day that give you energy? What are the environments that you work best in? Sort of physical environments, location, natural light. I include time of day in that. There's a coffee shop in South Minneapolis that I love to go to do my focused work, sort of just go there, put my head down, order a great coffee and get things done. What are you interacting with? Are you someone that loves to work with technology or people or the public or animals or things like that? Sort of what's on the other side of your interactions? What objects give you energy? I hear from people they like to have their favorite gadgets, their favorite office supplies. I've seen this evolve as people set up their home offices during this pandemic. What do you need to have around you? And then probably my favorite one is the last one, users. What people give you energy or drain you energy? You may find things like you get energy from large groups of people, you are drained by one-on-one interactions, maybe one-on-one with specific people, or vice versa. It might be you are drained by large groups of people and you really love interactions one-to-one. So make a few notes about what you see in your little energy map. What consistently lights you up energy-wise? And what consistently bogs you down? In my friend Sarah's example of the map that I showed when we started, these are the things that she found that were trends for her. So she had recently gotten married, she had recently bought a house with her partner, and she was just sort of in this transition state of life, trying to set up some new rituals and habits for her life. So she noticed that 3 of the things that really gave her energy on her map were things that she does alone. And she hadn't thought about that before. She loves teaching and working with her team, but being around large groups of people all the time was really draining for her. So the next step of this process for you today that we're going to take into our breakout rooms is think about what's one small change you could try in the next week to improve your energy levels. Either changes to the things that regularly drain your energy or increasing the things that regularly give you energy. In Sarah's example, she wanted to prototype how could she break up large group activities with some solo work time to recharge? So on her calendar, on the days when she did have control of her calendar, she tried to sort of build in some restorative time in between her big meetings or her meetings with students or teaching. And then in her home life, she wanted to have one night a week that was just for her, not with her partner, not with her family, just one night alone. I know she loves to read and loves to do yoga. For me, this exercise really helped me see when I have great energy times. And so I know that I have great social energy in the morning. I love meetings and coaching and kind of running around meeting with people. And I have better focus time in the afternoon. So if I'm putting together budgets or PowerPoint decks or was writing team reviews or those kinds of things, I knew that my energy changed because I use a standing desk in the morning. And often in the middle of the day, I wanted to sort of put my desk down, sit down, and have that focused energy. So I'm wondering if you would be willing to share in the chat any aha moments for you about trends in your energy, or if you're willing to share what's one thing you might want to try this week to see how it affects your energy. I'll ask for some brave souls to share any aha moments they had in the chat. Taco Bell gives you energy, Zach. That's fantastic. I have a new puppy in the time of COVID. He both gives me energy and drains my energy. Anybody else out there pop on? Decorating your new house, Paget gives you energy. That's fantastic. I may need you to come over and help at this house. Leveraging the mornings is when you have your best energy. Exercise to start your day. I'm hearing a lot of friends and colleagues really looking at their morning routine, sort of like how they can set themselves up best for the day. And I need to learn some things from them and try some things also. You do a lot of things that give you energy, but may not be taking time to recharge. That's great reflection, Andrew. Technology being on my phone sucks your energy, Courtney. Morning routine, being outside. We may have here in Minneapolis, we might have a short window of time yet where we can still work outside if you have that set up, if you're still working from home. So I'm going to ask us to take these questions into some breakout rooms. And these are sort of the 3 simple questions that I'll ask you to take into your conversations. When it comes to networking, I am sort of famous for asking my students and my clients, what if we ask different questions when we met new people? I think often we go through these exercises with like the name, rank, serial number, like here's my name, here's my position, here's my company. And that's sort of where the introduction ends. But what if we ask people questions like, what's giving you great energy lately? I think with that question, you learn all kinds of things about people. I recently asked a friend that and learned that she was planning a 90th birthday party for her grandmother. Another friend that I asked that recently, I learned that he was leading his church congregation through the process of adopting gay marriage into their congregation and figuring out what that process would look like. And those are very different conversations than I would have had if I just said sort of like, how's work going? You know, how's your family? So we're going to take these 3 questions into our breakout rooms. What gives you energy lately? What drains your energy? And what's one small change that you might want to try this week to change that energy flow in your life? I think when we say it out loud, it helps us to actualize it in our own lives. So Zach or Andrew, I'm going to throw it back to you for going into breakouts, I believe.
Welcome back, everyone.
We are back. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed your conversations, having some new questions to ask people this morning. I just wanted to make a note that this life design, like I said, we had a really short time this morning, but it is this iterative process that you can use when you're feeling stuck, that I use myself and that I use with a lot of people. And what it asks you to do is just reflect on how your needs have changed. Try to take a look at what's not working for you. Ideate a bunch of possibilities and then try some small things. It's sort of that 1% change as you're trying to build habits. Try some small things to see what works for you as you change. We just build on the things that are working and scrap the things that are not working in those changes. And always we have a goal of learning in this process. If you're interested in this designing your life stuff, I just wanted to share these resources with you. These are the books from the authors of Designing Your Life. The first book came out in 2016. Designing Your Work Life came out a month before COVID hit the US, and they did a rewrite of the book to include some sort of new co-working, flexible working options that's going to release on October 12th this year. So they released Designing Your Work Life, then we entered a pandemic, and then they sort of rewrote. There are 4 new chapters to Designing Your Work Life that will come out in October. There's also a workbook in their website, which is really helpful for people. And then I just wanted to leave you with, before Zach has his announcements, this is how to reach me. Like I said, Quarter Life Coach. I do life design coaching and career coaching. I love working with early career professionals. And so I just thank you for engaging with me today. I will hand it back over to Zach or Andrew.
Andrew, you want to take it away?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much, Katie. This was awesome. I know in both of my breakout rooms, everybody reflected on or said that we don't always take time to reflect, especially when you're busy with, you know, if it's career or personal life or family, you know, kids, people that have kids. So that's awesome. And just being able to take this time to think about things in a different light, it really helps. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Everybody, I'd like to just say thanks for joining us. We do have another roundtable coming up on October 15th. That's going to be, again, around what's on my ballot. So it's going to be all about what's on the ballot in November in the Minneapolis and Minnesota areas and how it affects our community. This will be a completely bipartisan conversation. It's more around information, just making sure that everybody has an idea of what's going to be going on in the next couple months. So always exciting time when you get to go out and vote. or when the state legislature is voting as well. Thank you, everybody, again. Take a moment the rest of the day and try to reflect, as Katie said, and use these tools that she gave us to continue to design your life and bring more energy into your personal and professional lives. So thanks again. Hope everybody has a great weekend.
Hi, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.